We are in a fort in the snow, in the fort in the snow, in the fort in the snow. It's lockdown survival. Oh, I made a song. Did you like my song? Okay, hey guys, welcome to a live session. I'm just going to wait because I know more folk are probably going to tune in, but it's quite nice to be here. And in case you're wondering, I am in a fort. Why? Because it's lockdown survival. January 2021. Here we are. Day 2 of lockdown. Still going. Still drinking tea. Rations running low. Dog in search of biscuits. Dog eats biscuits. Girlfriend closes door. Do you want a cookie? Get it. Get it. Right. We are here in a fort. We being me, myself, and I, because the dog just left. It's just me, myself, and I. Stupid song. He quite likes the cookie. Bobby is being fed cookies. Survival is happening. There we go. We got people to. Ow! It just snowed cookies. Bobby, cookie. Cookie. Would you like a cookie? Come here. A little cookie. Come here. Come here. You can't jump on my leg. Come here. Where's this cookie? Yeah. All right. Oh, that went really well. All right. Hey, everybody. So let's do this properly. I'm tuning in from the fort, aka Lockdown Survival Fort. This is the bunker where we're going to get through this. I thought you were taking a break. Interesting. We have a lot to talk about. It is January 2021, and I wanted to say hello. So hello. And to show up because we in the UK have just gone back down into a national lockdown. Yes, I'm talking COVID, the dreaded C word, but it's okay. We're going to get through this. How? With lockdown survival. No, genuinely, I have felt very strongly about the situation with COVID and everything that's happening around the world, and we'll get to that. But I really wanted to just to show up for Wild. If you just saw the video I put up today, you will see that Spend More Time in the Wild is more than just a YouTube channel. We are a community, and that means we show up for each other in the hard times. Yes, Sham, make a bunker. Come on, everybody make bunkers. Also, I had fun, and Anna's worried about me. she just got off the phone to some special number. You're coming with jackets. No. Honestly, the news of going back into another lockdown here in England, it kind of was no surprise, but it was a bit of a hit. It was hard to digest, but we need to be resilient. So in March 2020, when we went into our first lockdown, sort of the world shut itself down. Do you eat all the cookies? I started doing weekly live sessions. Why? Because people were stuck at home, people didn't have anything to do, people were struggling to cope. And I am considering doing something very similar now. So I can see many of you are joining. This is going to just take me a while. I'm stumbling over my words because I want to make sure everybody's getting up to date. The dog is coughing in the background. Wonderful. It's like we have a storm rattling on outside. So for those of you guys outside the UK, here in England and Scotland, we've just gone back down into a national lockdown. And it's really important to me that we get through this. My initial reaction was a lot of anger. Now, I really want to stress that I think COVID needs to be taken seriously. It is obviously deadly. It is scary. There are a lot of people at risk, but I also feel there's a lot of people at risk in a lot of other ways. And that is, other physical illnesses and mental illnesses as well. And being told through the news, actually directly through everybody else, I felt like I could have been very shaken. I felt frustrated that liberties and freedoms were being taken away once again when they'd only just been given back. That we're coming into a new year or we are in a new year and, I clear off my whiteboard with my yearly goals and I can't write them like I would normally write them. I can't say, I want to do this trail. I want to do this. I want to do this many miles, because none of that is achievable in the same way. I mean, it may be, but at the moment it's quite hard to be able to digest what the year is going to look like, because none of us know. And I feel it's really important that we use this to our advantage. This does not have to cripple us. This does not have to leave us feeling stuck. We can use this to empower us. So 2021 is exceptionally of unknowns. We don't know what's coming our way. And having just gone back into a lockdown, I was just getting ready to try and hit the trail, do some filming, go out camping. And now I can't do that, which sucks. Very, very much need that for my headspace, but there's going to be other ways around that. And that's what I really want to encourage us all to try and do together, is to look at this space that we now have and think, how can we use that? What opportunities is this opening up? Because we suddenly have more time at home, more time with people in our household, whatever it is. Like we've done this for a year pretty much already. I'm pretty sure we can get through another couple of months. So my initial reaction, as I was saying, was anger. All of the important stuff aside, like COVID is important. I felt very angry. I felt very up in arms. I woke up on the night that the news came through, in the middle of the night, and I couldn't sleep because I was just filled with so much rage. Because I just felt so protective. Okay, we've got some random dude coming in. Let's just kick this guy out. Sorry about that, mate. We don't need you right now. There you go. I felt very protective of the community that I built up, because I know so many people are struggling already, struggling with how 2020 has gone, struggling that so many of our coping mechanisms have disappeared or been taken away from us. And it's heartbreaking, to know that just going back into another lockdown, people's businesses are going to be closed again. People's connections are taken away. People's walks and goals and holidays and whatever it is that we need to keep going are taken away again at the moment. And that's tough. And I felt it's really important that we pull together. And for me, with Wild, the best thing I can do is to show up for you guys through live sessions, through videos. And so I thought I'd just use this session right now to have a wee chat about some of the updates coming with Wild. Somebody mentioned right at the beginning that, I'm back. I thought I was taking time off. So let's start there. For those of you guys who are on Patreon, you know that, you've known that in December, I wasn't very well. And I was really trying hard to, Bobby, what are you doing? Trying hard to manage my time to look after my headspace and look after my body, and give the bean all the cuddles, apparently. Hello. It was a tough month in a lot of ways, but it was also a really, really good month. So many of you may have watched my Cleveland Way video that I managed to get out by the end of the year, which was my goal. I'm so chuffed that that's out. And sort of December just became about focusing on that and only that, because my brain couldn't focus on so many things at once. And I feel super glad that that is now done. 2019 is closed, which is great. Just randomly lost my trail of thought. That happens sometimes. So the Cleveland Way went out. That was it. In December. So December, I wasn't very well. I really focused on the Cleveland Way. I'm really grateful for everybody who's watched that and fed back anything about that. And so I intended on just taking off December initially, but moving into January, I realized actually it's not so much about taking time off. It's about looking at Wild and looking how I can keep it manageable, how I can work through everything that has come up in December. And a lot has come up, a lot of personal stuff, but also a lot of sort of businessy stuff, sort of realizing how can I manage my workflow. There's so many things going on. I mentioned at the beginning, and in the video I just put out, Wild is more than a community. So there is YouTube with all the uploads. There's Patreon with everything that comes with one-to-ones, live sessions, blog posts, whatever. There's social media. There's other things, people I connect with, and other things going on there. Now, the exciting thing I can tell you, and this is where I kind of wanted to announce it properly and officially, there is a new podcast coming. So, woohoo! Previously, I've been doing little podcast episodes on Patreon. So every month there'll be a new audio upload talking about something. Really, really enjoyed doing that. But I've wanted to for a while to get a podcast out publicly. However, I know it's a massive commitment. I'm not taking it lightly. So given how I was in December, I was like, is this really the best idea? Because meeting that Monday upload deadline is hard enough in itself. So to bring you up to speed, hopefully, if everything goes to plan, on Monday, this coming Monday, the Living Wild podcast is officially going public. So I'm so pumped. This has been a lot of hard work. It's been a lot of pushing myself through through limitations and fears. And it's super, super cool that this is happening, because the Living Wild podcast is a branch off of Spend More Time in the Wild, but it is not limited by wild. So Spend More Time in the Wild is obviously the mission statement, inspiring and empowering individuals to get outside for the benefit of mental and physical health, whilst building meaningful connections with the natural world and with each other. So there's that. And then the Living Wild podcast is basically taking a whole bunch of values from Wild. If you look on the Spend More Time in the Wild website, you'll be able to see the values, the 5 values of Wild that we live to. Everything we do is linked to those. And we're sort of just basically taking the one value, which is to live wholeheartedly, courageously, and whatever it is, connectedly or something. That's really good, isn't it? Great promotion. And put that in a podcast. So there's no boundaries to the Living Wild podcast. It is literally a show about life. So I'm talking to all sorts of different people that interest me. And every other week I will be putting out a podcast. So now the way that I'm going to be doing this, because as I just mentioned, I struggled keeping up with Monday uploads, let alone now having a podcast to run in the background. I am going to alternate. I'm not going to lose my Monday upload, because that is crucial to me. But alongside the podcast, alongside each interview, I will be filming the interview. So it will just be recorded on camera. So whether it's Zoom, it'll just be 2 shots. Whether it's me and Anna chatting something, it will be us on camera. Whatever it is, that will be going out every other Monday. So this coming Monday is the first podcast episode. That is a film, that is an upload, and also the podcast. So you hopefully should be able to get it on a whole bunch of different places online. Now, that being said, that might take a while because the verification and stuff is all going through, but the video will be up on Monday. Then the next Monday will be a walk, will be an adventure, whatever it is. And then it will be a podcast, a walk podcast, and so on. And that will go on for a few months, because with each podcast, there are going to be seasons. So it's going to go on for 3 months. So essentially 9 episodes, 3, 6, 9, no, 2, 4, 6. Yes, that's it. 6 episodes. So 6 interviews. Then I'm going to take a month's break. So then there'll be another 3 months break, 3 months. So it's 3 seasons per year, with all the different interviews, all the different, I don't even know why I'm saying interviews, because I'm deliberately trying to steer away from that, conversations. And that is, I'm so excited, because for the first time, it really opens the door for me to chat to people that just interest me, to chat to people and email and make contact with people who are doing awesome things that otherwise, where would they have featured in Wild, So I'm so pumped about this. And what's really nice is I will continue to do additional episodes through Patreon. I'm going to try and keep it ad free, so I don't want any sponsors, because essentially Spend More Time in the Wild is sponsoring the Living Wild podcast, which is super cool. So the more people who are on Patreon, the more I can look at the podcast and I can look at expanding it. I can look at, contacting bigger guests and be less scared about anything there. So I want to tell you this because, we're moving into a very uncertain time, but I'm kind of just surprised by my life because, even with the uncertainty, and I was thinking on my walk yesterday, I actually haven't managed to get out for my walk today. This is the first time ever. I was thinking on my walk yesterday, if in this year, the worst case scenario is that I can't go backpacking, COVID aside, I actually have a bit of a more serious issue going on with my back at the moment. I had an MRI in December, and the news has come back that, there's some things that really need investigating. The things that need investigating aside, I have been in the most pain I think I've ever been in, and certainly consistently. My back is always a constant pain. It never dulls down. But the last sort of 2 or 3 months, I think it has just been unreal. Pretty much every day at some point I'm just in tears because the pain is so much. I'm trying to use heat rubs and things just to manage it. I'm not really one for painkillers, but I've really considered it a lot. And it makes it quite scary because, you know, I can't even wear my side bag, which just holds a little water bottle in, without excruciating pain. I mean, the other day I was out with Anna, when we were still allowed to see people. My mum and brother came over, and I ended up giving her my bag. Like, I think that's the first time I've ever actually handed over my bag. Dealing with chronic pain is something I want to talk about more, because actually I realize, you know, dealing with your mental health is essentially dealing with chronic pain. But there are so many people in physical pain all the time. And the connection between our brains and our bodies is so real, you know, and I've done a lot of research. I'm very interested in nutrition, and I was studying nutritional therapy. I would love to pick that up soon. And, you know, learning about the gut-brain barrier, you know, learning about hypermobility syndrome, which is something I've been diagnosed with, and how that constant nervous firing in your body can really upset your digestive system. And then that can, you know, for me, cause migraines. There's all sorts of different things. So basically, my body isn't the happiest, for whatever reason right now. And my back in particular, I've been quite scared over the last few weeks since I got the MRI back just before Christmas, actually. The news wasn't great, but I'm not going to let it crush me because this is turning out to be just quite a pivotal podcast. Because let me tell you a story. For those of you who know me, and especially anybody who's been on Patreon. So Patreon, I talk about it a lot. It's a community. It's a community for me too. It's a safer space for me than the public space. So I share a lot more of my story. I share a lot more of my personal life. You know how on Instagram and Facebook, you've got stories. On Patreon, there's the lens. So I put up lens clips. I deliberately steer away from doing that on Instagram and Facebook quite a bit, because I want to do it in my safe space. And I love doing that on Patreon. So just some things I keep on Patreon because it's a better place for me to share it. And I've shared my story in a much deeper way on Patreon, so people know about my mental health background. But trail of thought again. Whenever I look at the comment section, I just lose where I'm at with my brain. I was talking about this is wonderful. Also, this hasn't happened so far in any of the podcasts, so that's great. I was talking about the pain, the mental health. Shmuk, do you remember what I was talking about? Were you listening?
I'm just trying to re-listen.
Oh, she's on it. Ever the best PA. You can call her a PA. La, 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 la. I like how you're literally like my thoughts.
Sharing your mental.
Yeah, but why do I like sharing my mental health story?
On Patreon.
Yeah, I know that. What did I say before that? I like... What?
You love doing it in your safe space.
Yeah, I know I like doing it in my safe space. Also, I like how you're like my thoughts, because the brain is not working.
Listen to you from three sides. You're just explaining what you're doing on Patreon.
Okay, well, what I'm doing on Patreon is sharing my story a lot more. So I'm trying. What I think I'm trying to get to.
Were you talking about why you were sick in December?
Yeah, I was also talking about why I was sick in December. Oh. There's too many things. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. It's a real thing. My brain just like dies. I'm back though in some ways. So
MRI and telling a story.
Yeah, it's something about my MRI. Hopefully this is amusing you, because
me.
No, just the world. Just laugh at my failure. Me. I can't even. Yeah, how have we managed to build a life together? Sorry, I don't know if you can hear Anna, but she's just over there and she's like re-listening to what I've said because I can't remember.
I'm listening to two different videos from you and you live.
Oh, great. Yeah, she's doing something secretive. I don't know what's going on. She won't let me know anything today. Hard life. So I was talking about the MRI. I was talking about the frightening news. Oh, I know what I was saying now. I remember. Yay! I actually did it. Wow. We need to mark this date in the diary. We're having a National Memory Day. Actually, international. Go big or go home. Drink some tea. Thanks, Mark. Cold brew. All right. So, good. I'm grounded. I'm ready. I'm really not grounded. Nothing about me is grounded these days. I'm like a... So, oh no, it's gone away. No!
Pain, your MRI.
Oh yeah, I remember now. So I was going to tell you a real life story. This is a little bit more serious. So buckle in, people. Goggles on. This is fun. Let's do this thing.
Why are they wearing goggles?
Because it's snowing.
Do you
Anna,
need a helmet?
if you have one. So, okay, let's do this. I feel a little bit nervous. But because as I was saying, on Patreon, I've shared a lot about my mental health story. I haven't done it so much publicly because I deliberately want to keep that for a slightly safer space. I've done that through podcasts, I've done it through blogs, yada yada, one-to-one sessions. People know a little bit more about that background. Mental health is something I have to deal with and manage every single day. Now, mental health is obviously just a really overused phrase. Essentially, it just means your mental health. It's like your physical health. Is it complete? Is it not? That sort of thing. And for me, there's certain things that I need to do in order to manage my headspace and to keep myself up somewhat. Now, it's really interesting because I say that like a clinical. Great, now I'm analyzing myself. Up until last year, July last year, I have struggled a huge amount with suicide and suicidal ideation. I dive into that a lot more through Patreon. I don't need to go into that anymore, but for a very, 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 very long time, as long as I can remember, I have had a dance with death. I have really struggled to choose life. I felt angry when I realized I need to choose life. I would resist. I would turn my back on it. I would be tempted, all those things. I would struggle to motivate myself. I would struggle to believe in myself. I would struggle to just basically live. I couldn't commit to myself, and I couldn't commit to that because I wanted to be able to check out as and when I could. And for anybody who's been in that space or in that space knows how it is a dark spiral, and getting out of that feels virtually impossible. Getting out of it is one thing. Believing you can get out of it is another. I never believed I could. I honestly believed that I would die at my own hands. And I tried a number of times. Last year in July, I walked the Cotswold Way. And for the first time, for some arguably random reason, but it's to do with my faith. And I'm going to do this in a podcast on Patreon to go into more detail. But I was walking through the woods on the Cotswold Way. I was in a lot of pain with my my foot and with my back. So my foot, I struggled with plantar fasciitis for a while now as well. My back, as I say, ongoing pain. Didn't know why at the point. And I just suddenly felt a massive, massive uprising. I felt frustration and anger. I felt hope and inspiration. I felt driven. And I just felt completely, I don't even know if there's a word in the human language, but it was a rebirth, because for the first time ever in my life, I committed, and really not just skin level, not just heart level, not just like inside of me level, but spiritually and everything else, committed to life. And something inside of me shifted, and everything shifted. And I declared it out loud. I am choosing life. I'm declaring over my foot, and I'm declaring over my back that there will be healing. I'm declaring over my mind that I choose life, that there will be hope. I'm holding on to hope. And that basically, whether it was a spiritual thing or whether it was a mental thing or whether it was a physical thing, pretty much told it to get lost. And I kicked up a fight. I drew my sword and I freaking charged in. And it knocked me to the floor, and I cried and I rocked. I couldn't move. I just lay there, and then I managed to finish the walk, whoop-de-doo. And then for the next week or so after that, when I got home, I was just in bed. I had a migraine that was consistent. My body was just zonked, and it was tough, almost as though my body needed to recover from this massive declaration and create space for new drips of life to come in, almost as though it was still fighting off something that had a grip around me for that week. It's like I couldn't really do anything. That was just when, you know, every day I just work on the new website that is now up, just an hour or so a day, and then I'd read, and then I just sleep. I was zonked. And it was insane, and I got scared. I was like, why is this happening? But I came out the other side, and I'm not the same person. When thoughts, all of the thought wiring in my brain is exactly the same. I still think the same. I still deal with a lot of suicidal temptation. I still deal with a lot of temptation to harm myself. I still deal with a lot of temptation to handle things in unhealthy ways, like shutting down or running away, or in my anger, hurting myself. But in that rewiring that is happening for the first time in my life, I don't want to go down those paths. It's not that I'm resisting them. I actually don't want to, and therefore they don't have the power that they've had before. And I do personally believe this is a spiritual thing, but like I couldn't tell anybody how to do this. But it's a complete mental shift, in one way, superficially, and then inside, viscerally, that rewiring is slowly happening. And it's super exciting. It's super cool. So now that we've gone into the second lockdown, I'm a different person, you know, and I really feel like as it happened, I could have crumpled. I really could have crumpled. You know, I'm desperate to get out. I'm desperate to get out, like to do some things. You know, seeing everybody who's got snow, for example, up north is like, I've never had that, really, not wanting to go on social media. I mean, I don't really use it as social media's sake anyway. I use it to post things and get off. But I have scrolled through because I have been stuck. And I'm seeing people out in the snow, out in the mountains, and it makes me agitated. I'm just desperate to get out for my head. But I think even just walking up a valley in Exmoor and wild camping, you know, like that pain that's going to go through my back also really scares me. So there's like two really big barriers, and it's quite intimidating sometimes, but I'm not going to let it win, because for the first time ever, I'm coming into a year, 2021, that crossover from the 31st to the 1st, in a mindset where I want to choose life. And for me, that means that any external thing that's going to be thrown my way, it has no power, because the only way we can be imprisoned is in our mind. Physically, anything can happen to us, but we can get through anything mentally. You know, I think about people who survived wars, people who have survived prison camps, people who have survived extreme isolation. You can get through that if you've got the right mental space. And I'm taking a lot of inspiration, encouragement from these people. I'm taking a lot of inspiration from people I've leaned on for a long time, people like, you know, Brené Brown, and adventurers like Felicity Aston, you know, hearing about what they're up to and how they're coping and how they're looking after their community is amazing. And I want to be like that, you know. So 2020 was a year of community and connection. I want 2021 to be a year of stepping up, a year of showing up. That is what this year is about. It's a year of facing the fear and doing stuff anyway. And I mean that in the best possible way. I don't mean that in the whole, like, let's go bungee jumping. Like, cool, that's awesome. But that's shallow compared to what I'm talking about. I'm talking about life. I'm talking about sending that message to your family member you haven't spoken to for however many years. I'm talking about, you know, if you have been stuck in a wheelchair recovering from an injury and you just can't bring yourself to take that first step because what if you fall? We're going to take that step together. Right now, we're all in a metaphorical wheelchair. Right now, we are all metaphorically laid up because 2020 has freaking wounded us. You know, how fragile we all are in our heads. So many people I know who are strong and stable, they have really wavered in 2020. And now coming into 2021 and to be shut in a house, like, I'm not having it. Like, no way. You know, and for me as a YouTuber, it's really funny because you guys are watching me. You can see me right now. You know, I'm wearing a hat, sunglasses. I mean, you know, you could guess that anyway. I haven't changed these since pre-Christmas. But, you know, it's different for me, because I don't see you. I see your YouTube names. You know, it's Andy, Karen. I know Karen. You know, there's Nicola, there's Graham. I don't know you guys. I don't know what you look like. I don't even know what you sound like. But I just put a Patreon post up. And in the video I just put onto YouTube, people have been sending me videos and I have been absolutely floored. I've been speechless because I have suddenly seen the faces, heard the voices, and enjoyed the smiles of you. And I've never had that before. And it's so weird in the best possible way. It's so weird because you're real. And this is an online thing, but you are real. And that has really, really changed me. And it has come at a perfect time because as lockdown hits and I have just seen the faces of you, I've just seen your face. I cannot tell you how protective I feel over you. And, I'm so grateful for the journey I've been on, that I'm on. I wouldn't change anything about the dark days, about how hard everything has been. But, it has brought me to here. I have so many skills and tools. I have so much experience from surviving, and now we have to survive. But I want us to come out of this lockdown thriving. I want us to use this time to build each other up, to dig in to what we believe, to dig into our foundations, to dig into our values so that we can come out the other side, whenever that is, February, March, however it is, and we can jump into that and we can adapt and we can overcome. That is what I'm super passionate about. And so, to come back to where we are now, in the survival bunker, let's make this fun. Let's connect. So every week, every Wednesday, I haven't quite decided on the time, but it's going to be around 5 or 6 o'clock because I want it to be dark, because the day is there's so much going on. I want us to come together. I want us to go in the kitchen and make a decent salad. Also, seriously, you wanna know about our salads? I mean, you think you've eaten a salad? You think you don't like salad? We will change your world. This is now salad promo. So salad porn. Like, come cook with us. Some weeks we're going to be in the kitchen making salad and my favorite food of all time, which is sweet potato. Sometimes we're going to have a little music session. Sometimes we're going to have chats about serious stuff, or we're just going to mess around. You guys are coming to our house, grab a brew. We're going to have some fun every Wednesday, 5 or 6 o'clock. Please, please, please be here. Tell everybody you know. And I really, really hope that every week we can take away something that we can use to build ourselves up and apply in the week that comes. So here we go. After 6 is good for me. Most people are key workers. That's why I really want to know what you guys have to say because it's very important. Also, I'm loving the salad emoji thing that's going on here. I talk with a strong Welsh accent. Nicola, thank you. I feel inspired. So that's what this is right now. This is the first session of our survival, or our lockdown survival. So I'm not actually doing anything much. I'm just hanging in the fort because, that's what you do. Drinking cold tea. I can see you're all debating times a little bit. You can tune in even after it starts. You can also tune in after it's finished. So nice way to just make sure you're staying up to date with everything. So I've given you a little update on the December. I told you I wasn't well. I told you a little bit about mental health. And I want to now say that, okay, so as somebody mentioned, I am going to be taking January still quite steady. I have a lot of work to do, and I'm really, really, really excited. So I want to use this time to sort of get up to speed with a lot of stuff. I mean, tax return needs a little bit of attention, things like that. So all of that's important. I'm going to get all of that done, behind me, organized. I'm going to get this year coming a little bit more organized as well in terms of things that I can control. The things that I can't control, I'm going to still focus on what I can control about the things that I can't control. So, if there's a trail I want to do, then I'm going to see if I can get an itinerary sort of sketched out. I'm going to make sure I've got the maps. I'm going to make kit lists for things. And do you know what's cool is I was thinking, like, as I say, what if I can't get onto the trail this year? What have I wanted to do that I've not had time or been able to give myself permission to do? And that's right. So a lot of you guys have, said that you enjoy my blog posts or whatever it is. Whenever I'm on the trail, I do longer trail updates on social media. And I'd like to write and pull together some thoughts, maybe do a few more blogs. I've got a few ideas up my sleeve, which is usually rolled up, so up my sleeve, of things that I'm pulling together. And actually on Patreon, it's one of the goals. If I can reach a certain number of subscribers, I'm going to spend a lot more time pen to paper, which is super exciting. I know you're saying local walks there. Local walks will definitely be factored in, but they're not a priority for me right now. I walk every day. I move my body every day. I have a whole bunch of films in backlog that need editing, things from Scotland, things from the Alps, long distance trails, so Cotswold Way, Coleridge Way, couple days of mountain ascents with the Zugspitze, for example, highest mountain in Germany. That's all coming up. All of that needs editing. It all takes a long time. Obviously, the podcast I'm going to be working on as well. What I'd like for the future is to have obviously all of those podcasts ready to go in that month where I'm off. And then the 3 months, it's just sort of rolling and ready to go. So that didn't work because December was survival for me. What else? Yeah, all the things for Patreon, live sessions, one-to-one sessions. I love the one-to-one sessions, chatting with people each month. Again, that is changing my life. So it's super, super cool. There's a whole bunch of new ideas. And every month, normally I'd run wild walks. So people would come and walk with me. We do them normally in the Southwest. Last year I was supposed to go north, but of course that didn't happen. I don't know what that's going to be like this year. We're going to adapt and we're going to overcome. So I'm really excited because we will be working on some virtual walks. Some virtual wild walks, essentially. I don't know what this is quite going to look like yet, sort of just in the thought processing stage. Don't know when they're going to come out, but that will be happening. And there will be ways for you to connect people through walking as well in our local area. So whatever they throw at us, wherever we are allowed and we are not allowed to do, we will get through this. I'm kind of excited because, you know, I've talked in the Abbie and Anna show, or me and Anna have talked in the Abbie and Anna show. Second episode coming on Friday. Woo! That, you know, we've sort of alluded to that we're doing a lot of work on our relationship because relationships don't come easy, as anybody who's in one knows. They take a lot of work. You have to want it. And I find it hard, obviously going through the hard stuff, going through the challenging. But as soon as I understand what's going on, I always feel this bubble of excitement in my tummy. Like right now, I feel jolly excited because anytime some adversity comes our way, anytime a mistake happens or a challenge comes or someone criticizes, usually we, if I can be so bold, go through an emotional reaction. Something comes up, you know, it's like, oh man, that was a big reaction. Like that can cause trouble in itself, you know, but as soon as you can step back, as soon as you can connect with people in your life who can challenge you and open your eyes, as soon as you, as I say, can get in a hot air balloon, and sort of look down in your life, you can, hey, Dave's here. Hi, Dave. You can switch that perspective because an adverse situation, an obstacle, a mistake, a critical comment can suddenly be twisted into something that actually can build you up, that can see you learn something, that can inspire you and encourage you. It can challenge you, and all of that can be taken to take a step forward. Life is like a whole bunch of stepping stones, and you know, it feels to me like I'm on a new stepping stone, and I have the courage to actually look at the next row of stepping stones for the first time ever, which is super, super cool. And I really want to extend a metaphorical hand to you guys to join us, join us in all that we're doing. So it's cool. There's a lot that's going on in here, and in here in Wild. And I really hope that the things that I'm learning, I can apply and I can share, that may be applicable for you if they're relevant. I want to encourage you to keep connecting with other people. Hopefully you have people in your local area, friends, your family, people you can keep in touch with during this lockdown. If you don't, again, join our group. You're so welcome here. And keep looking after yourself. It's so important that we focus on the basics, you know, hydration, nutrition, movement, sleep. I always think about input. Input is one of those solid foundations. You know, listen to music, read books, have audiobooks, whatever it is, anything that you have that's going in, even if it's TV, try not to be mindless. We need to be conscious during this time. It could be so easy to just numb ourselves, but we're not living if we're numb. We are living, feeling human beings. It's the sad truth of it. We need to feel the things in order to know where we're going next. So the things we're putting in, it's so important that we really check in. Is this actually constructive? Is this actually guiding me in the direction that I want to go? Is this challenging me? You know, is this making me laugh? Is this inspiring me? You know, if things are pulling you down or putting thoughts in your head that shouldn't be there, then probably not best for right now, especially when we don't have that same physical human to human connection opportunity. I think it's just so important we take some agency over our lives, set goals that are achievable. And by that, I mean, you know, we could still say, I want to walk the West Island Way in August. Like, cool, have that there. But could you actually try and do the West Island Way before you actually get on the West Island Way? Could you try and walk that distance before August? Because why not? You know, just because this obstacle comes our way doesn't mean it's a dead end. And I have lived my life only able to see dead ends in everything that comes my way. But suddenly, through what I shared earlier, nothing is a dead end anymore. And whatever comes, no matter how scary I find it, because there's a lot of scary things, I just feel like we're going to make it, you know? And I'm just enjoying this. and I really want to do it with you guys, because wild is so precious to me. And I'm really excited about the future. So just to come back to the video that I put up earlier today, it's more than a YouTube channel, it's a community. That's what I want to focus on. I want to focus on building that up. I want to focus on not just producing videos, but helping you guys to produce videos, to help you guys get to the trail, to walk with you, to talk with you, to explore new places, you know, to help you achieve your goals. Like, I've been thinking along so many different lines, just to go split about all the things, like potentially some kind of annual grant that people can access and apply for to help them achieve their goals, to do a whole bunch of tutorial videos on how to actually make hiking films, and talk about my filming kit and what that looks like, to talk about I have a story I want to tell, and that's how YouTube has saved my life. You know, there's all the editing that I want to do of all these different films that I did last year that I want to try and get out. There's the Abbie and Anna show, which is in my opinion very powerful because it's a whole different aspect of our lives, and it's exceptionally real. We're just sitting having a brew and talking about all sorts of things. So most patrons have obviously seen that, because it goes up on Patreon early, but it'll be coming out publicly on Friday. So bazillion things. I'm really excited, and I just hope that you can join me for the journey. It'll be really nice to have you guys along for 2020. Keep checking in regularly. Please keep sharing everything that's going on with Wild. Don't be afraid to reach out, and keep breathing, because that's all I have to say. So I feel like I've rabbited on for about quite a whole bunch of random things. I've done a few circles as per usual, chase my tail. But I think it's a good time to wrap this up, because I have a salad to make and you're not joining us today. Sorry about that. But I really do want to keep these fun. So if you have any suggestion about what you'd like the live sessions to be each week, then definitely let me know. That'd be really good. Maybe we'll take you out on a walk. Signal's pretty bad here. But if possible, you know, we'll go up into the fields around the house and do some outdoor live sessions. That'd be really good. It is getting lighter bit by bit every day. And just, as always, keep focusing on what you're grateful for. You know, there is no joy without gratitude. And I live by that, because I've seen the power of gratitude over my own life. Consciously, every single night before I fall asleep, in my head, what are 3 things I'm grateful for and why? The power is in the and why, not just, oh, you know, I'm grateful for tea, but I'm grateful for tea because it brings me warmth and comfort, and liquids because it's so hard to drink when it's so cold. You know, all sorts of things like that. And it doesn't matter how big or small they are. In fact, where is my phone is acting as a torch. There's something I wrote down the other day that I really like. It's just a little bit more brain power that I have at the moment. But it goes, you know, as soon as you wake up in the morning, just writing it down. So you've got 4 questions that are written already, and you write the answers. So question 1 is, who do I want to be today? Question 2 is, how do I want to feel today? Question 3 is, what do I want to give today? And question 4 is, what do I want to receive today? And I actually find that that's quite powerful. And again, it brings into focus that we need to live intentionally and we need to live consciously. And that's going to be hard, because it's going to bring awareness, and awareness is tough because it brings up a lot of things. But it's only by seeing the things, acknowledging the things, feeling the things, that we can work through them and we can grow through them. We can connect. We can ask for help. We can sing and dance and laugh, because if you can't see what your obstacles are from happiness and joy, then it's time to do something about that. So it's a little bit deep, I guess, in one way. Somebody, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were saying that I need more like hiking-y stuff. So go walk, it's fun. Bobby, what is it? Come here, Bobby. But Bobby thinks somebody is at the door, apparently. Yeah, I'm excited, and I hope you guys can be too. So wherever you're at today, and that's physically and mentally, Bobby says hi, which is really important. Don't forget, Bobby says hi. He's sending you a metaphorical high five. And just keep going, So 5 or 6 p.m. It sounds like 6 p.m. is the mish, because everybody wants 6 p.m. Also, I've never said is the mish before, so that was interesting. Also, it's a pretzel. Nothing else. I 6 p.m. next Wednesday, we'll be doing a live session. So I have some feedback from the first podcast, and anything else you've got to say, let me know. Please join us on Patreon. I'm actually also quite excited. Actually, I'm going to do something that I'm a little bit scared about. Do you like my beard? I've been working on it for a while. I have wanted for the past 2 years, I'm just too wussy, to potentially put together some of my personal training knowledge and create some training videos. I've alluded to it in a couple of films before, where I've talked about, I'll be putting out some videos on how to get fit for the trail or whatever. But I've come up with a few ideas. I just need to be brave enough to do them. I also thought it'd be really fun if I train in my hiking clothes, because then you can see that like clothing doesn't even need to be a barrier. Life is better with a beard. That should be on a t-shirt or on your beard. If you would like to see some hiking fitness videos, some training videos, whatever you want to call them, sort of hiking hit, that works. Wild workouts, that's a bit cheesy. Please let me know. Message me, leave a comment, whatever, get in touch somehow. I'd really like to know, because that would be cool. It's something I would really like to do for myself as well as for Wild, because we can't always hike, if that makes sense, because we have jobs, we have commitments, we have things to do, and now we have lockdown. How can we use this time to build on our physical strength, and how can we use building on our physical strength to work on our mental fitness as well? And I love it, because training for me is not so much about physical health. That's secondary to the mental health, and I want the stuff that I produce training wise to be along the same lines, to be fun, to be engaging, to be accessible for all people, to be progressive, to be measurable, and yeah, it sounds like that is potentially something that people would like. Great, thanks guys. Alrighty, so we have covered a bazillion things. I still have cold tea going, so cheers for that. If you like the fort, we can have more fort adventures. That'll be fun. Maybe we can build a fort together, a national fort building day. I'd be up for that. Just like a national sweet potato day, I've decided should be a thing. My life in lockdown. Also, I think you have to experiment with the day before you can actually have a day. So on a national sweet potato day, you have to make all the sweet potato foods, eat them all, decide if that works as a day, and then do it again at a later date, because that's the official date. So that's the way, never mind Guinness Book of World. Mate, I could do something. I could maybe enter the Guinness Book of World Records for who can eat the most sweet potato fries. Great. Mission 2021. It's happening. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope this has been as random for you as it is for me. But I will look forward to seeing you the same time next week, 6 o'clock next week. It'll be good to hang out. And in the meantime, look after yourselves. Try not to let things get to you too much. If they do, look outward. Alrighty. Enjoy your adventures, locally, I guess. And stay wild. Bye, guys, and see you soon. Have a good evening, morning, day, afternoon, life. Bye.